Now, if the period of moving average is an even number, let's say we are asked to find a 2-yearly moving average or a 4-yearly or 6-yearly or 8-yearly, then it becomes difficult to find the middle points or the middle years for each group or subset of years. Which means if we're taking a 4-year moving average, we are adding up a group of 4 years each. First 4 years, second 4 years, third 4 years, so on, depending upon the number of data we have. Now for each group, it is very difficult to find the middle point. Okay, so we'll take a look at how that becomes a problem. Okay, so if you look at this example here, where we have your year variable, which is denoted by x, sometimes by t, and it runs from 1, so on, your y values. So what we noticed here is that, let us take the example of a 4-year moving average. So what we noticed here is that if we are taking a 4-year moving average, it means we are dividing the data, or we are taking a group of 4 years all the time. So we're starting with the first 4 years, where we take years 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next 4 years, where we take years 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in the process, what we do is we add the values. Okay, so what we noticed here is that when we take the first 4 years, that is year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and add the values, what we notice is that we cannot find the middle value, or the middle, or the year, or the middle year to put the value against. Okay, now if we compare that with the 3-year moving average, okay, so these are the years. Let's say, because we are taking a 3-year moving average, we are dividing, we will divide the data or the years into a group of 4 years, into a group of 3 each. So for the first 3 years, year 1, 2, 3, we add the values, and from here it is easy to see that year 2 is the middle year. So whatever value we've added, that will be kept against that value, which means for year 2, whatever value we get, let's say A1, that will coincide with year 2. Similarly, for the next 3 years, 2, 3, and 4, it becomes here in this next 3 groups, it is obvious that year 3 is the middle year, and this value here, the sum, will be assigned or will coincide with year 3, and so on. But if you look at a 4-year moving average, or if it's a 6-year or any even year, it's very difficult to find a middle point or a middle year to put the value or to assign a value to. Okay, so that is why in case of a 4-year moving average, it is said that the moving averages will not coincide or cannot be placed against the midpoint of a time interval. So if we're talking about this 4-year time interval, for the first 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, if we add A plus B plus C plus D, the values, we cannot assign the value in the middle year, because we cannot find a middle year or a middle point. And what we find is that it will lie between 2 middle points or years. So in this interval 1, 2, 3, 4, these are your middle years, year 2 and 3, and your value will lie somewhere here in between these 2 middle years. So if you look at the next set of data also, or the next group of years, next group of 4 years, so we take 2, 3, 4, 5, these are your middle years, and your value will lie somewhere in between these 2 middle years. So we cannot assign a value, or we cannot assign the moving average value to a particular year. Okay, because we cannot decide which year to assign to, because it lies exactly in the middle. So we look here, the values, if we add them, B, C, D, E, we do not know whether these values should be assigned to year 3 or to year 4, because they lie in the middle. Similarly, for the next 4 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, the value lies in between year 4 and year 5, so we do not know which year to assign the value to. So here this concept of centering becomes important. And centering simply means that because we cannot assign the moving average values to a particular year, because in case of an even average it lies between two middle years, so to decide which year to assign the value to, this concept of centering becomes important. So this centering shows that in other words, we need to ensure by centering what we can do is the moving totals and moving average can be placed against a middle point for each time interval, which means for the first 4 years we will know by using centering, or by centering the moving averages and totals, for the first 4 years we will be able to find out the middle year of that time interval. Then for the next time interval of 4 years, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will know which year will be the middle point, and so on. So there are two ways of centering moving averages, or two methods of centering moving averages.